multiplying polynomials. Now this example here, example 2, is a bit more complicated than what example 1 was because it has two parts and it's using multiplication and subtraction of polynomials. So I'm going to label this side part A and this side part B. Okay, so to do both of these, the first thing we're going to do is the same thing we done in the previous example. We're going to distribute this 3x squared and the 2x into our parentheses. Okay. Now this is, like I said, this is the way I choose to do it. But if you want to do it like this example here, you want to break it apart and times it, or like this one over here where you're breaking it and doing it that way, the long way, then feel free to do it that way, whichever way is easiest for you. So if I say 3x squared minus times -1, I'm going to get a negative 3x squared. Because remember, if I times, anytime you're multiplying or dividing, if the terms are the same, if they have like terms, if they're both a positive or they're both a negative, then it's always going to be positive. But if the signs are different, you have a positive and a negative, it's always going to be negative. Okay, so then we have 2x squared times 3x squared. That's going to give us a 6x to the 4th, because we're going to add our terms at the end. And then 6 times 3 is 18. X cubed plus x squared is x to the 5th. Okay, now let's do part B. Okay, so part B, we're going to add our 2x. Now here you could go ahead and add this -2 in there if you want to. I think for most students it would probably be easier just to times everything by the -2 and then change the signs, as I'll show you later on here in this example. But either way will work. Okay, so 2x times 1 is going to give me 2x. And negative 3x times 2 is going to give me negative 6x squared. And then 2x times x squared is going to give me 2x cubed. Okay, now I can put this in parentheses and add my negative and distribute that negative. Okay, so then this part would become a negative 2x cubed, a positive 6x squared, and a negative 2x. Now, if you had put the negative 2x up here and times everything there by negative 2x, you would have got this answer here already. But it's just whichever way is more at least confusing for you, okay? A lot of students miss their problems because they mess up with the positives and the negatives. They'll put a positive where a negative should be and a negative where a positive, and the whole problem's wrong. If you don't have the right sign in front of the number, then it is wrong, okay? Now we're going to combine part A and part B. But if we notice here, part A starts off with an x to the 5th. Part B starts off with an x to the 3rd. Now remember that you can only combine if you're adding or subtracting terms. They have to have the same exponent value. You can't add a 5th and a 3rd together. You can only add 2/5 or 2/3. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to rewrite our A part, and we're going to bring that all the way out. We're going to add in 0 placeholders. Okay, so that way when we add this part B over here, we're not going to be getting the wrong answer because we put that in the wrong spot. So to do that, we'll start off with 18x to the 5th plus 6x to the 4th. Now we don't have a 3rd, so we're just going to add a plus 0x 3rd. Then we're going to add our negative 3x squared. We don't have an x, so we're just going to put a plus 0x. Now, if we had a number on the second part, we could add plus 0, but since this stops at just an x, we don't have to go that far. All right, now let's add in our part B. So our part B, we're going to line it up with our 3rd, our 0x 3rd here. And like I said, this is very important because if you add the wrong term, if you put that in the wrong spot, you're going to get the wrong answer. Okay, then we're going to put our plus 6x squared and our negative 2x. Okay, now we'll just simply have to combine all of our terms. Okay, so 18x to the 5th plus 6x to the 4th minus 2x cubed. Now we have a negative 3 and a positive 6, so we take those away. We're going to get a positive x cubed, because when we add or subtract, whichever number has the greatest sign, then we'll carry it. Okay, and then a negative 2x. All right. So this is our answer. Pretty long answer. But the main thing to remember, like I said, when you have problems like this example here, and you have two terms, make sure that you line these terms, part A and B, that you line these up correctly, okay? And start off doing like I did here with part A, add in these 0 placeholders. Go ahead and take it all the way out. If you look at part B and it has a 1, if it would have had a 1 at the end, then you could have added a plus 0 here. But we would have just eliminated that anyways because we didn't have any on the second part. So that's why I stopped there. Okay, so that's all for this example.